Yeah, I mean that's the cool thing. But another, you know, just kind of adding on to that same mindset. There's certain things you cannot figure out online because players will not play that way. You cannot play a fully reactionary style online to the same extent that you can offline. It's not possible.
And the fact that you're only going to run into, like, say, a Necalli for just one set of 2 out of 3, whereas out here you could be like, hey man, I know you play Necalli. Do you mind if we just play like 10 games?
10 games.
You know, just do it. And not just a battle lounge. Like I'm going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
We're going to talk like people.
Yeah.
So we do have a matchup here.
Yeah,
we got
Necalli.
Of course, Nick Tanella versus BDB. Excuse me, Pedro. We're just going to call him Pedro.
Pedro. So we got Necalli versus Nash. This matchup, I feel like if you are a Necalli specialist, then I would say there's a slight advantage to Necalli, but that's not to say that Nash can't handle business.
No, of course. I think
he's always a threat no matter what the matchup.
You know, Nash is one of these characters with that, like, it's so annoying. Like sometimes the recovery on his fireballs. You know, you wouldn't want to fully zone a character like Necalli. But I feel like he's got some of those options to just like sort of back off, alleviate some of this pressure, and then do some very unsafe things like that, get punished.
You know, he committed to the crossover with the V-trigger into the light punch slash, but you know, it didn't work out. It is a cheeky trick that can definitely work sometimes, but in that instance, that wasn't one of them.
No, not at all. Now, you talk about reactionary gameplay. Now, this is something that Nick, for example, has definitely been working on as a regular. Now, Pedro's, I've not had the pleasure of seeing Pedro play before, but we can see that Nick Tanella already like catching him with some of these DPs. His spacing, he's trying to get Pedro into a place where he's gonna rock V-trigger and punish him out of it. He didn't get him that time, but you saw the spacing was correct.
Right now, Pedro's kind of controlling the pace of the neutral. Nick's not really doing anything to combat him for that, but luckily for Nick, in these kind of like scramble situations and clutch stuff, Pedro is kind of panicking. He's choosing some unsafe options.
Yeah, he's burning meter when he doesn't necessarily. He's burning meter in that way that I feel like he's trying to catch Nick sleeping. Right. But Nick has already demonstrated that he's been playing a more defensive style. He's playing a waiting game. He's waiting for Bob, I almost called him, Pedro, to make a choice to catch him on a slip-up. Yeah, and here we go. He's going to punish him right there for it.
Ooh.
Nick is playing a more reactionary style, which is also including a little bit of a defense mechanisms in there as well.
Definitely.
But now Pedro's going to do the same thing.
Unsafe, but no punish for Pedro. And Nick's going to take the game off that. Now, homie's getting coached by some dude. Young Art. Oh, that's a sick shirt. That's a sick shirt. Yo.
Oh, I do like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
So, Nick is not... Now, if Pedro didn't mess up so much in that last game, I would definitely think that he would have looked a little more dominant. Because Nick is not doing anything to break his game plan. Pedro is pretty much executing what he wants to do, except he's just throwing out certain bad buttons. And then Nick gets in and he starts.
Now, right there's been an adjustment from, you can see Pedro, where he has recognized that Nick is playing a more defensive style, but he's doing dash up, crouching medium, punch. Dash up, crouching medium, punch. So the idea is right, but I feel like the buttons now are wrong.
I mean, I think it's a little bit that. It's also, I mean, I don't necessarily know if he needs that approach. You know, Nick is getting a lot of corner pressure based off Pedro messing up, and the more that he's committing to different options, he's giving himself opportunities to mess up. But with that being said, he's looking pretty good right now. I like the fierce into fireball, pressing a lot of buttons, occupying the space.
There you go, dash in the throw.
Yeah, 8 frames, dash up throw.
Oh, we are back on PlayStation 4s, by the way.
That is true. And EXTP, that's going to be it. Nick secures the round.
Yep, just cancel it.
That was sick. Very well played.
Because we know we got new viewers every day. This is an old trick that we see every week. But if you're new to it, maybe you don't know that Necalli has a very great option of just canceling into V-trigger, catching him in the air. Because remember, that just resets all the frames.
Yeah, basically.
So that's how we caught him in the air with that EXDP.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just dash up, command grab.
Corner pressure, Nick Tanella.
There he goes on the reset. It's more damage.
Okay, so Pedro wakes up. Neither of them decided to quick rise off the knockdown. Now, Pedro has gone behind on every one of those V-trigger fireballs that he's thrown. Yeah. I would like to see a little bit of variance. I mean, it's cool to cross up, right? Like, it's tricky. But at this point, Nick has shown that he's going to block that every time.
Absolutely. And also, the thing is, he's sort of he's giving Pedro the V trigger
Right.
so that he can waste it. What he did, he started off this very round, dashing in
Ooh, back
with
low forward.
Oh, there you go. That
Yo, big boy damage is not gonna kill.
No, it won't.
I would be surprised. It's gonna kill. Oh
No. Okay, we should have bet
That's
money.
crazy.
That's gonna kill.
Nice. Yeah.
Really